Howdy, howdy, and welcome to My Bloody Judy with your final forgets, myself, Zachary Patton Garcia.
And Ian Carlos Crawford. And today joining us for our opening kill is...
Jimmy Champane. Woo.
Hi, Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy Champane. No G. No G.
No G.
Yeah, tell the folks who you are, what you been, or where you been, what you do, like a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I have a Halloween channel. That's like where I do updates on, the Halloween movies. And then I have a PlayStation channel. That's like my full-time job where I do the same thing, but for PlayStation. And that's pretty much it. Just bouncing around, watching horror movies, playing games. Same old.
Not a bad gig. So around the time that like news of Halloween 2018 was coming out, like all of these, there's like a core group of YouTubers, of horror YouTubers that like came about, and Jimmy was one of those that I would watch to get all of my Halloween updates. It was so exciting watching all of them. It was really like when that movie was being made, the fanfare really was like so electric. Like it was really exciting. And he would do live streams with. We watched a movie and Drum Domes and Voice Man.
Dave McRae and Wolfman.
Yes, Dave McRae. Yeah. So like it was just really fun, and so I'm super stoked to have him on for Halloween 4. When was the first time you watched Halloween? First off, okay, so what brought you to the Halloween series? What made you fall in love with the Halloween series?
The questions that you like asked together are related. So like I saw the first one on AMC Fear Fest when I was really young, and then it was like a marathon. And when they do AMC Fear Fest, they do them out of order. So it went right from 1 to 4 the night I saw it, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. I was like super young. I remember seeing Halloween 4 way younger, so I might have honestly seen it first, like when I was like 6 or 7, and then Halloween 1 might have been later, but in my mind they bled right into each other in the same night. But I just remember I was young, I really liked it, and I just every Halloween I would watch more and more of them until I got like caught up. And then the first one I saw in theaters was the Rob Zombie remake when I was in middle school, I think in 2007. I want to say middle school. And then everyone since I've seen in theaters.
How old are you?
28.
Okay, so we're about the same age. So we pretty much had the same sort of Halloween experience. Ian just watched Halloween 4 for the first time. Me and him just watched.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And he, what'd you think of it overall, Ian?
I thought it was very boring. I thought it was fun.
Did you really? I didn't get that from you when we were watching it. Damn.
I thought it was fine. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I thought it was fine. It was very of the time, like horror movies. Like it reminded me. So I am much older than both of you. I am 10 years older. It reminded me of like those type of movies that I would have seen as like on TV back in the day that like would have scared me as a kid, because like everything like that scared me, but I always liked to watch it, but it would always scare me. And I think there was even parts when I was like, oh, I've seen this on TV, like this part. I don't understand their problems with the mask. I just don't understand.
That is the biggest problem with that movie.
A franchise-long problem. I don't understand it, but like they even use the same Shatner mask, right? It's a Shatner mask that they.
It's like the same mold or something like that, but then they modified it more. 5 is the weird one because even then they didn't use the same mask as 4. Greg Nicotero was doing the effects, and that mask is like a mold of his head, which is insane.
Is it really? I didn't know that.
I don't know what they did with the 4 mask though. It's like that part, and then when they're in the diner and there's all those pictures of Abraham Lincoln on the wall for no reason, and it's like a pink mask. That one stands out even more. It's terrible.
Yeah, and then we got Blonde Michael, like, towards the end. It was just a whole mess of problems. Number 5, I told Ian that when we get to that, because we're going to watch it in a couple of days, it looks like an alien, like the entire time. Just like an alien, like, head sculpt. I feel bad saying that now that I know this is his actual head, but...
and when you look at it, it doesn't look like that. Like, he doesn't have that shaped head. I didn't know he did effects on it either until I did my video on it, I guess, like 3 years ago now. 3-4 years ago. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Well, like even H2O, which I genuinely love, his mask is like just so fucking weird, and it's different. Like, right? Isn't it like a different mask at certain points?
Like 6
there's like
masks.
6. Yeah.
And it's like very like I don't think I noticed that, to be honest, when I saw it in theaters as like a teen or whatever. But I like when Zach and I rewatched it, I was like, ooh, this is very noticeable.
Yeah, it's because of the wides, right? Like, so they had one mask for wides and one mask for close-ups, and then in the school when he's chasing them around, they use like 3 or 4 different masks, and one of them was CGI, like completely CGI, just crazy. Just so weird that they weren't ever able to figure that out. But then when they go and do it in 2018, it just goes perfect. Like I don't know.
It's so weird too. And then even Rob Zombies, I felt like I got really excited seeing that one because, like you, my first taste of Halloween was on AMC Fear Fest, and so it was the same sort of thing. Like I'm pretty sure I watched them all out of order, didn't understand any of it. I knew that I liked Jamie Lloyd, like didn't really understand what was going on, but it was just like so exciting, and like the rooftop scene, and then you know, waiting up and watching the laundry chute scene for the next one, and then it was great. And then Rob Zombie was the first one that I saw in theaters, and they got that mask so great. Like
that mask is dope.
It was perfect. What do you think? Not to get too off topic, what do you think of the second Rob Zombie movie mask?
The second mask is annoying because there is no mask. But like I really like the director's cut of that movie a lot. I went back and watched it, and it's way better than the theatrical one. And I'm not like one of those people who's like, oh, the director's cut's always better, like the producer cut in 6 is so much better. I don't actually like care, but that one is one where I noticed, it was like, oh, here's the movie he wanted to make before they were like, oh, this is nothing like Halloween. Add in some more Halloween 2 shit.
I mean, sometimes, like, even if it's going to come out shitty and it's only going to be that slight glimmer better, you still got to let your artist kind of have their way with their project.
Right.
Because I would agree with you. I think the director's cut was a lot better. But getting right into Halloween 4, the return of Michael Myers. This one is set 10 years after the events of 1978. It's actually, it came out 10 years later, too, right? 1988. Yep. So, we open with this perfect Halloween montage. It's just something about it.
It's like perfect for where I grew up, like in the Midwest in Michigan. I mean, like I'm right outside Detroit, but downtown Detroit has like a lot of sprawl, and then in between the downtown and like where I grew up, it's like a completely different town. And then we would go out into like woodier areas around Halloween, and it's just like perfect with all the decorations that are old and not really well taken care of, but still like the effort to put them out, you know, the leaves blowing in the wind, you know, sun goes down earlier. They got all of that perfect. And it's like the one time where Utah works out for them, I think, because they use Utah for that movie 5, 6, all the way up through. And I think that's the only time in just the intro, the random ass intro, where I'm like, okay, this feels like Midwestern, which is cool because even 2018 gets close, but it's not even nearly as close as that intro.
I have a counterpoint to that opening.
Okay. So I think this is the kind of the tone of the episode, is we're gonna have a lot of Ian saying, actually.
I think the opening itself is a cool opening, but is way too disjointed from the rest of the movie. Like none of the movie, it doesn't capture the feel of the movie. It doesn't feel like the movie. We don't revisit a like weird farm town. We don't like go to that location. So I feel like if it was for a different movie that was set in like a farm town, then it would work. But for me, it's like Zach, when you were like, oh, this opening is so good, I was waiting for the good part because you said that like when we started.
It's that.
Like, it's cool. There's gonna be like a really cool like scene with Michael Myers. And like I really kept waiting for like, oh, where's the really cool part? And then they transferred him, and I was like, all right, I guess this is all right.
The transfer's cool too, and they're like, oh, I mean, moving him to fine. Smith's Grove. He kills a guy with his thumb. Yeah. That's awesome.
He's doing that through the whole movie. He's just like, he learned that's the only part of his body he could move while he was in that coma. Yep. So he's got that strength in there.
That part is energy, I think. Like when when they're loading him in, they're like, oh, you're here on a rainy ass night. It's creepy. They're like, they don't want anything to do with them. It's cool.
It is. And I'll counter your counter and say that this is 10 years without Michael Myers. You're kind of feeling this absence. It's setting up the next chapter because it's not just this movie. The next chapter is going into a couple of different movies. And so we've got the absence, and then he's back. And like you said, Jimmy, it's like a rainy night. We get the setup. They got to do that like really quick. So on the walk up to get him, they've got, you know, he killed however many people back in 1978. They were supposed to... Did they say that they were ignoring 2?
Not really, because they just couldn't get Jamie Lee Curtis back, so then they just kill her off, right? Like when you get that box of pictures, they're like, and she died off screen. The end.
Yeah, man, and it's and it's the picture that they took of her like sitting on a stoop.
Yeah, it's like a screenshot from the movie. That always pisses me off when they use like an old picture in movies, and it's like clearly a screenshot of like someone's computer or like, you know, from a different movie they were in. It's like way too well produced. This is such a tangent. I just watched this movie called Superhost, and you reminded me of it. It's like a movie where it's like these YouTubers, they have a channel where they go to Airbnbs and then rip on them and like get these people's lives ruined. And the YouTube part of the movie, the YouTube video part of it, they're using like Ari Alexa style cameras, you can tell. And it's just like totally immersion breaking. But yeah, that picture is so bad. It's just like immersion breaking.
They're always doing shit like that. You know, when people are supposed to be like filming on iPhones or something, but then you see it's on the real cheap shit too. It's like you see the box that says
recording. It's so dumb. Like there's never been a thing.
Exactly. And
like
so
while glitches.
While Michael is there's a bunch of little flubs in this. While Michael's getting transferred, they're talking about his niece, Jamie Lloyd. So Laurie's dead by this point. Jamie Lloyd is the only survivor. And he wakes up from his coma because he hears that a family member's around. So he's like,
punches his fist.
He's like, oh. And he wakes up and he kills everybody. He gets the little thumb tweak into no, it's the forehead, right? This one,
right in the middle of his forehead, which makes no fucking sense. Yes,
because if you search Halloween 4, it's the only GIF that comes up. Like number 1, it's like a GIF of that. So it's like seared in my brain.
And he kills everybody, and then we get Jamie Lloyd, and she has, you know, she's up late at night. This is our introduction to Danielle Harris, because Danielle Harris is like, aside from Jamie Lee Curtis, like the heroine of the series. I remember being so jealous of Danielle Harris and like wanting to be that kid actor who got to do all this fun, crazy shit.
And then you see 5 and you're like, dude, you ever
it's
watch
still fun and crazy. Yeah.
Well, the special feature, she's like, they like literally threw me down that garbage chute and I got cut really bad. Like when he was stabbing through it, he was like actually stabbing it. She almost got stabbed.
They're just there were no rules for child actors during this, because they also had her on a roof that was set like 16 feet above the ground. And I love listening to the commentaries where she's on them, because she's so fucking funny. And she's like, I guess we were just up there and like nothing around. And if I fell, well, you know, I just fell.
I was reading a bunch of like trivia after, and the actress who played Rachel, like, hit her hand on a nail and like cut her hand during the scene, but like kept going.
Ellie Cornell gets done great. Real dirty. I'm preparing you for 5.
Oh my
Just get ready.
Yeah.
When I was reading the trivia, it got ruined for me.
Oh, did it? Okay. Oh, yeah.
Because she was pissed.
We set up Jamie Lloyd and Rachel Carruthers in this, and they are such a great like big sis, little sis.
They are. They really are.
Like duo. And Rachel is not your like. She's not your, you know, wallflower Laurie Strode, but she's not like, you know, this popular girl who, you know, gets offed first. She's like a smart teenager. And she's not entirely annoying. I don't think she's annoying like at all. No. I really enjoyed her as a sort of final girl.
I liked her a lot. I don't know if I said this in my review, so I'll just repeat it. I'm like adopted, so Jamie being adopted was cool too. I was like, whoa, I'm like her. This is sweet.
Except every time Jamie's just like hanging around in a doorway, Rachel says some shit like,
that made me like get into the movie. Sister. I was like, oh, I'm invested here. I like this. This is good drama. This is relatable drama.
Yeah, it was good.
I do think that scene was really good. The her like dream that she has,
her nightmare.
Like we don't quite explain why she like. I feel like that would they have told her? I don't know, but like. I guess it would have been on the news, but like I liked that scene, and I thought that was like, because she's a really good actor. She's like selling the like, this poor child is, you know, in danger, and not until she opens the door, there's 2 Michaels, was I like, oh, this is a dream.
Yeah. And as child, as a child actress, like she was so great, because child actors are like awful, like
especially in horror movies back
so
then.
bad. But she's like so good, and she really sells it. And during this dream, like, you know, lightning's going, and she's seeing him like at different places around the room. And I guess, you know, in this town, because we see it later, like the kids are making fun of her. Your uncle's the boogeyman. Like, she's probably seen a picture. Some little shit snot-nosed kid has probably brought a picture and shown it to her, or, you know, she knows this history. I like that she's not like having to discover anything. She kind of already knows, and she's having nightmares about him. And then we go to the next morning, and so the babysitter cancels. Rachel is made to watch Jamie. She's gonna have to take her trick-or-treating that night. That's when she's like, so dramatic too. She's like, my children and your grandchildren have all been wiped out because I have to stay home and watch, you know, my adopted sister or something like that.
It's a good line. I like that line a lot.
It's good. The way she delivers it really well.
Yeah, and you empathize with her a little bit, right? When you get older, you're like, I get it now. That sucks. Like, you already had the plans. It's like if your parents were, if it wasn't the day of, right?
Yeah,
I think that's where are like a little out of bounds there. It's like, come on.
Yeah, she's also a little. She's a dramatic teenager, you know. She's like, Brady was ready to make a commitment tonight. Like, you don't get it. He was gonna commit to me. These 17-year-olds.
Me in 2 months.
Lord Jesus, yeah. I mean, he's already doing it tonight. Kelly.
I feel like retroactively, I thought of that line like towards the end. I was like, oh, did she just mean like she was ready to fuck? Like, is that what she meant?
Oh my gosh, maybe,
she wanted a boyfriend, official status.
And so then we get our first Dr. Loomis sighting of the movie. He is back. They brought him back. This was not a series that they were going to be able to get rid of him. And they call him and tell him about the ambulance crash. And he's like, he knows Michael Myers is alive and he's on his way to Haddonfield. Nope. Again. Nobody's going to believe him again. Nobody's going to. It's just this repeat.
How it goes.
They believe him more than they did in the original. Like, the sheriff is actually like, all right, if this is true, let's go like investigate, instead of just being like, no, this crazy old man doesn't know what he's talking about. So I appreciated that we had at least like a realistic step towards like, okay, they kind of are like, all right, this guy's intense, but like he was right before when that killer was there. So let's just check it out, rather than just being like, go away, you're annoying.
He's not like Boy Who Cried Wolf situation. It's like, like he's old, but we'll believe him. Yeah, that's right.
But so like he goes to the ambulance and we get all those like, we get that like wacky gas station scene, which is like wild. And feel like for me that it felt like an action scene, not in a Halloween movie, because it's like Michael speeds off in that car and blows up shit and Loomis ducks out of the explosion into some like trash. That felt like a different movie. I don't know, that didn't feel like
Have you ever been to seen like a ride at Universal Studios where they take you through like a movie tour, like you on the Twister ride, and they have all the effects that happen one after the other? That's exactly how this scene felt for me. Yeah. Just like you're kind of in a car just going through, and then like the light post goes over.
Because I did like Loomis finding the bodies and then seeing Michael. I was like, oh, cool, this is going to be cool. But then like, so this movie, this is the thing that bothered me. And I always think about this with Buffy too, right? Like, Buffy's my favorite show, but I understand that seasons 1 and 2, especially season 1, are like, have no lights whatsoever, are very dated. There was a lot of like dated shit that I think I could have forgiven more if I like had been a fan of this movie when I was younger. Because like, even that scene when he's like looking directly at Michael, he doesn't look away, he lifts his gun, shoots, and Michael's just not there.
He ducked out of there. He just like,
I mean, they don't even show like him run away. And Loomis, like, how does Loomis not see him? He's looking at him.
What you see like a cabinet door like slightly open or something like that. Like, he was so fast, he just got the fuck out of there.
I think the mask is weird in that shot. I think that's where it's pink.
Isn't it
or something.
It's the bandages still.
Oh, is it the bandages still? That's what it is.
Yeah, he doesn't get the mask until drugstore, I don't think. This
is
like,
right.
I wish for this movie they'd gone with just full bandage. Like,
that's what I was saying. Yeah, I say that in like a billion podcasts. Like, because I don't know, everyone always wants to talk about Halloween 4, so that's why when you asked, I was like, oh, I know all about this one. I'm always like, I want the bandages like through the whole movie because they look so cool because of the eye slits. And it still looks sweet with his jumpsuit.
It does. I mean, he's always got to get the jumpsuit. He's always got to get the mask. But like, we could have done the bandaged mask because I mean, it's already dirty by the time he's like killing that mechanic. You know, it's got blood on it, and just throughout the movie, it could have like unraveled a little bit more, a little bit more. He's probably got some burn scars under there.
Yeah, it would have been easier for them.
Yeah, not to do like a Jason Voorhees like deformed face reveal, but like they could have done something, just like a cheek or something.
They couldn't even handle Loomis's like facial scar.
Oh my gosh, yes, forgot
that
all
was
of
too
that.
much to keep track of. For that.
There was they had a very big problem with continuity in this movie, because they did have that. They had I was telling Ian about this, the it's like a skull prosthetic.
Yeah,
it's like looked
a flat thing.
Like his girlfriend said it looked like a fried egg, right? Like pointed that out to him, and he like freaked out and made him change it. But then they
just stopped making him wear it.
It was just weird because you see in one part and then in another part it's gone. But yeah, so Michael ducks out of there. He almost runs over Loomis and steals a tow truck because, he knows how to drive. And straight out the coma, I picture him just sitting in the tow truck for a little while before Loomis shows up. It's like, wiggle your big toe.
I like how they make the line right at the beginning where they're like, oh, his muscles would atrophy. He wouldn't be able to walk. And they're like laughing about it. And it's like, yeah, we got it out of the way. It doesn't matter. He can he's doing it. He's going to drive. He's going to walk. He's going to put his thumb through a guy's head. That's just who he is. He's got the power of Halloween.
He gets out of that coma. Yeah. He gets out of that coma.
Listen to yourselves.
Chin ups and everything. Jamie's getting bullied at school. The kids know who her uncle is. We kind of already mentioned that. But then she gets picked up by Rachel and Lindsay. I always think this is Lindsay Wallace. That would be nice.
So the trivia I read, which is you had told me that, the trivia I read had like a billion different theories on that. And the writer apparently said that none of them were true.
Damn.
But that like someone who worked on it said that was true, but the writer said that was never his intention. He just gave this girl like a random name.
He should have just lied and been like, "Oh yeah, I thought
just why not?" He was being an asshole, is what it was. He was like, "No, it wasn't." And that other character, Tommy, no, that's not him either. Because they had a whole different concept for this movie, right? It was supposed to be some, I don't know, mystical something. Like Michael Myers was dead, but he is like the spirit of Halloween instead. There's this really cool part in like the script. Who wrote that? Dennis?
I think it's the guy who made Wrong Turn. Alan B. McElroy.
Whoever wrote it, like there's a really great scene in it where like Michael's coming out of a pumpkin patch, like he's coming out of this like mound of pumpkins, and like he's
I read about
Halloween.
Yeah, God forbid they have any like real Halloween imagery in one of his fucking movies.
And it is really good. It was really good. The whole thing is kind of weird. Like he grows to like 10 feet tall and like all of that, but
I mean, I do always think of Michael as like very tall. I mean, maybe not 10 feet, but.
It's the 80s, I guess. So Jamie decides she wants to go trick-or-treating now. So they go to the drugstore to pick up her costume. She picks out the same sort of clown costume that I guess it was supposed to be reminiscent of Michael's. I don't think it's the same one, is it?
No, it's different. It's like
it's
red
clearly,
and white.
It's clearly supposed to be reminiscent because of the ending.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a different little mask and everything, but it's cool. I like it on the. I have a T-shirt with it on it.
It's good with her. And then she like sees Michael because I guess he's there now. He's actually there.
I like this scene.
Grabs the mask and she like backs up and breaks a bunch of mirrors. And meanwhile, across the store, because Rachel's never watching this fucking kid in this entire movie. She's never watches this fucking
what's
kid.
What's going
on? Rachel's having her boy drama with Brady and Kelly and all of them. And Brady's always wanting to get rid of this kid too. So.
Well, I mean, like you're a horny fucking 17-year-old. You want to get rid of the kid,
Yeah, I don't know, but Jamie's cool. I'd be like, all right, you can
keep her around. Yeah, I mean, she's also
like, you're funny. I'd give her
scared puppy dog too.
Oh, I like
got like trauma. Clearly,
you stay here while we go fuck though. But I do like this scene because I mean she's really good, and so like when he grabs her and she has that look of terror, it's like she really sells it. She does, and you feel bad for this like precious cute child, and she's like backing into the glass. But again, they do that thing here where like he's clearly standing right there. They cut to his reflection in the glass, and everyone's like, "There's no one here. What are you talking about?" And he's standing there. We see his reflection.
I thought it was like a dream sequence when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
And then I was like, well, that doesn't make sense because that's how he gets the mask.
Yeah,
but it's weird. It's like played for like dream sequency, like spirity stuff, and then he's just like, oh, bye, and then you're like, okay, I guess he got the mask.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, the wrong mask. Should have gone to a different drugstore, I guess. And then we're back with Loomis. He's on his way to Haddonfield. He runs into those stupid fucking teenagers, the cheerleaders, who are all like, they're all like 29, 30 years old.
Yeah.
Like some top-down car, and then like a preacher picks him up, and they have this long conversation.
Yeah, the Reverend, he's awesome.
Yeah.
It's
just so random too, though. Like,
I really wish that Reverend had been like a character from part 3, and like they just like randomly placed him in there. I think that would have been like super cool to like acknowledge it, but not have to explain it. And if you don't get the reference, that's fine. I always like shit like that, so I would have like I looked and was like, oh, is he like a character in other shit? But he's not.
Reverend Jackson P. Sayer,
who is the guy that attacks McLovin in Superbad, who's like, it's you, really? McMuffin.
Oh, is it that guy?
What I did not know that.
I love that
movie. He's been working. He keeps the job.
Because that's one of my favorite scenes of that movie. He's like, it's McMuffin, but like that's it.
Booked and busy. Good for him.
Good for him.
Amen. License plate. There we go. It's just so Loomis's whole arc getting to Haddonfield.
Yes,
it's like several different movies. It's like we got the action movie at the gas station. We got a road trip movie here. It's just all over the place.
And even the Reverend's car, like when it pulled up, I was like, is this gonna be Michael Myers in this creepy ass car? Like I was like thinking that's what it was doing, but no, it was just like a Reverend drinking.
He just shoots him. Michael Myers pulls up, just domes Loomis and drives away.
I mean, that would have been one way to go with.
He pokes his finger through his chest real quick and then drives away.
It's his thumb.
Like,
it's his
tink.
thumb. He's like,
out of here,
he could have been just both of his thumbs throughout the whole movie. Just. But Loomis gets to like the police station to warn everybody again, and he teams up with the sheriff again. And that night, Rachel and Jamie are going out trick-or-treating. Michael sneaks in. He goes through the house. The screenshot of Laurie Strode. Kills the dog off camera, but he still does it. Because, there's never a fucking dog.
He's got to kill a dog.
He loves killing dogs.
He's hungry.
I almost wish we would have gotten, because I liked how much in the beginning, like Jamie's always sitting with the dog. And I was like, oh, there should be like a good like beat there for like her to be terrified that her dog is murdered. And I thought that was like
man, she's still a child actress.
Like,
you
damn, my dog died.
You make her confront this.
She's still a child actor. Don't make her see a dead dog. But the rest of like fingers poking and
throw her off a roof.
I mean, she could jump off a roof, but she said like during the nightmare sequence at the beginning, like they shoved her in a closet and she just started screaming and crying. So the dog might have been a little bit too much for her. I don't know. But while trick-or-treating, Rachel sees Brady is at Kelly's house because cops do it by the book. And
sure.
they're just hanging out, So we got the teen drama going on in the background, the Melrose place, and then Jamie runs off with all these trick or treaters who were bullying her ass earlier.
I know. I wanted Michael Myers to get them. I said it to Zach when they were like bullying her. I was like, I hope he fucking gets these kids. He's like, Ian,
like,
they're children.
They like her now, all right.
Right?
He don't kill the kids yet, but like, just, Rachel, fucking watch your kid, man, watch her, because she's gone, and then they get separated, and Rachel.
And this goes on for way too long in the movie that they are separated.
Think? I don't know. I thought it was pretty okay.
There's too many scenes of her just screaming Jamie's name and her screaming Rachel's name, and it's like, all right. And no one encounters Michael Myers. There's no danger.
There's danger, like the essence
it's
of
coming.
Michael Myers. Yeah, it's in the fog.
Them.
Yeah, it's somewhere. They hear it. Something in the wind. But we cut over to to the bar with the rednecks, and I think this is going to be pretty close to Halloween Kills. I think Halloween Kills is going to be a bunch of rednecks running around Haddonfield.
Oh yeah, you were saying that in the Halloween 2 one, and I was like,
gosh,
makes sense.
Yeah.
Why? Okay, I have a question. As the two of you that are like huge Halloween fans, I don't understand why erase the history if we're just going to redo the history. Like, that's a thing I keep thinking of after we watch this movie, because I was like, oh, this is obviously where Halloween Kills goes.
Because they'll do it better.
But like, I don't understand.
Isn't that what you want? Don't you just want to see it better?
But they could be like, oh, last time it was just a bunch of drunks. Now it's the whole fucking town. We got MAGA moms. We got, Karens. We got everyone running around, not just redneck drunk dudes. And for me, that's like
themselves with not knowing they were going to get a sequel. So they were like, all right, like 2018 is going to have an ending. And then they were like, we're going to get a sequel. So they only kind of go one way, like. A little different.
But I wonder what their original idea was, because they were originally wanting to do two, right? And they didn't know they were going to get a second one, so they're like, we'll nix that second half. But I wonder, was it this? I wonder if it was.
Yeah, I bet it's Halloween Ends, because this one, from what I've heard, feels more like the middle chapter. You know, like it like some bad stuff happens or whatever the fuck, but like most of all the story is going to wrap up more in the third one, like Halloween Ends. So that kind of makes sense to me. Like they kind of filled in the gap between the two movies because they got a trilogy out of it. Honestly, I don't think they had to, because this is like Halloween 2018 is Halloween 2. Then you could have just done a third one and then called that the trilogy. But
yeah,
they screwed it up now. There's four movies.
I'm okay with it. Honestly, if they keep making them, I'll be fine with it.
I think they'll keep making them. I think it'll be
of
good.
course, of course. Are you so I don't remember. Are you somebody who was more or less upset with the retcon, or are you okay with it?
I was fine with it. That's like one of the biggest videos on my channel was like why they made the right call. And I watched it and I was like, yeah, still feel that way. Like 4 or 5 years later. So yeah, like I don't know. It got so convoluted by then by where they were at that it just kind of made sense. And the sister thing kind of makes him not scary because he's only going after her. But if it's not with the sister plotline, you could go after anyone theoretically. And now they're kind of giving him from the trailer, right? They're kind of giving him more of a motive where he wants to get back to his childhood home, which I think is honestly better than him going after his sister, because who cares?
But he's still going after her.
But she's
going after him.
Yeah, exactly. Like he didn't go to her house. He ended up at her house.
Right. He was put there.
He doesn't I feel like in these movies, what I like about him is that he's like a one-track mind guy. So like if he's thinking about his childhood home, it's going to be the whole movie until he gets there. Or if he runs into Laurie Strode, well, he wants to kill her, obviously, but he's not obsessed with her, right? But getting back into Halloween 4, we've got the Rednecks led by Leader Earl. I love the fucking Rednecks. I am a huge fan of the Rednecks. So they hear that Michael Myers is back in town and they go hunting him. And, the whole police force really is taken out in this movie. So this is the police force of Haddonfield. Like this is right. Sheriff Meeker and the Rednecks.
The shot of the police station is dope when it's all like
it is, yeah,
blown to shit. I was
and
like, wow.
I had just watched *Malignant* earlier in the day, and I was like, "Big day for me watching a whole entire police force murdered." Oh well.
Yeah, don't say nothing.
Dude, it's like every movie now it gets spoiled on Twitter before it comes out somehow. So, I was like, "All right, I know everything that happens," but yeah, I've just been busy. I got to go see that.
It's okay. Yeah.
It's on HBO Max. That's how I watched it.
I wonder how long though. It's gotta.
I think they do it like 30 days. I'm gonna go see it at the movie theater.
It was good in the movie theater. But yeah, Michael Myers, went through that police station with his thumbs, just killed everybody. And
thumbs out.
And then while the Rednecks are running around hunting Michael Myers, they kill I've never been clear on this. They kill somebody, correct?
Yeah, they kill like a drunk sleeping in the bush.
Okay.
And they're like, well, that sucks.
And then they kind of just move on. And I mean, if anybody ever runs into him in the bushes one day, say Michael Myers did it, I guess.
You're gonna be like, holy shit, it's
that's what happened in the second movie too. They murder a kid and then they're like, oh, it's not him. All right, it's fine. Like, keep going.
Yeah. They got more important things to worry about.
They do. Michael Myers is running around. So Michael murders a man by throwing him into some electrical equipment at a power plant. That shuts the power off for the whole town. Because I guess, I don't know. It's a good plot device, I guess. You got to figure out something, right?
He's got a plan.
He could have gone door to door, just cutting all the cords, but he went straight to the power plant. Good thinking, Michael.
He's crafty.
Exactly. Parents are. This is the part that I really like. So I like when it sort of picks up here is like we see parents pulling their kids off of the streets, and like Rachel's alone running through alleys and stuff like that, and it is very creepy, I think. And then she runs into Jamie, and they're picked up by Loomis and Sheriff Meeker. They get taken to Sheriff Meeker's house, and they start boarding everything up. Because really, it's like all of the residents of this town against Michael Myers, and they're trying to radio in for some help. And so they're boarding up this house. Brady gets a gun. And they're all just kind of hunkering down for a little bit. You get a little bit of teen drama. Loomis and Meeker leave to go get help. I don't know why the fuck they just Meeker.
They're like, all right,
everybody. Yeah,
peace out.
Maybe take the two targets with you.
Right.
He's
That
like
was
the only one with weapons experience too.
It's like a very bad plan to be like, we're gonna go out. Well, see you later. Like, I'll be right
back. We're gonna go
back.
find Ted Hollister.
Yeah.
I guess I do love Kelly and Rachel's moment in the kitchen though, fighting over Brady.
Yeah.
Like, well, he's not married. If you don't be careful, Brady's not going to be the only man you leave to another woman. And Rachel takes some coffee and throws it on her, and
that would be me.
That would be Ian. Yeah.
I would have time to be petty even with a serial.
And we're in crisis, Ian. We're in crisis. Yeah, I guess. But I do love all the stuff of this house. It builds that kind of fear. Like, we know he's out there.
I also love that she doesn't get dressed, and it's like her father and his coworker, and she's like,
why
is
would
fine.
she get dressed? Why would she get dressed?
Big t-shirt's all you need.
Yeah, that's it. Michael starts killing everybody off. He kills like the deputy first, and then he kills Kelly. This is like this movie. He really barely. I noticed in the last one, he like barely uses the knife. Right, like he's going for just about everything else. He does thumbs. He shoves the shotgun through Kelly.
I like that when he stabs her with the gun. It's so funny. She like goes through the wall.
Yeah, it's so because in the other ones I guess in the second one they used a stuntman too, but like he still like had fluid movement. In this movie, every movement he makes is very like his whole body.
Yeah, he's got his shoulders up. I don't like that. That's why another thing I don't like is the football pads.
Yeah,
it makes him look like Uncle Fester.
I guess. Yeah, that's what you said, right? When he was going down at the end,
because he's like this, and it's just like a pure white head, and it's like.
Yeah.
For the record, I hate the shotgun kill.
Do you?
I fucking
like it.
Everyone hates it.
I hate in horror movies when they use something that's not like that doesn't work. Like that wouldn't work. So I'm like, I thought he was gonna blow her head off, I was like, that's kind of stupid. And then I was like, oh, this is worse. Like
Could you imagine him blowing her head off? Could you imagine
him shoving it through her? Like the logistics of that just don't quite. And that's not a critique of those movies. A lot of fucking horror movies do that shit. Yeah. But that always bothers me in horror movies when the killer is like, I'm gonna take this plastic bottle and shove it through your eyes, and it's like, what? How?
They did it. But she, so she's dead. And Rachel comes downstairs, she starts finding all the bodies, goes upstairs. Jamie's gone. It's like at this point of the movie that the energy just keeps going.
Oh, wait, but we do get a really cool shot that I love when she's talking to whatever the other cop is that's left there. And you see Michael like very, very briefly in the background. You just see like an outline of his face, and then he goes to the side. I really like that's like the thing I think this series always does really well. And I wish this movie did like a little bit more of it, where like Michael is there, but like he's not doing it. He's just watching. And I think that's like this series, like that always works for me, is like this creepy dude in this mask who's like, he's not even doing anything. He's just intently staring and watching. I think that's like really good. And I like that you can watch that scene without noticing Michael there and the scene still works. So I like, that makes me like it even more.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm not saying positive things. So I wanted to be like, no, let's go back to that.
He had that one saved in his head this whole time.
Ready to go.
Ready for that one.
That's what people want more out of kills. And I don't think they're going to get it.
They're not. I don't think so. I think we're going to get full shots of Michael. He's going to be like, all in the flames and everything. It's going to be pretty balls to the wall. But... yeah, where are you? No, Brady and Rachel, they're trying to get out because, fuck Jamie. She's just running around the house somewhere.
Oh, yeah, she's fine. She's all good.
Oh, my God. And Brady, like...
He said, we'll never find her. It's okay. He, like, tries to blow a hole, like, through the lock and, oh, shit, it's metal. Never get out of here. Can't use your shirt. Can't break a window.
Yeah, nothing. I just didn't really understand what that was when he's like, it's metal. We got to run. It's like, wait a minute, what? Like, try that again. Try it again.
on page 77 of the script, it says the roof. So we got to get up there. Okay. So they start running up there. We finally find Jamie. She jumps out in fucking nowhere.
Exactly.
She's like, hello.
So we, like I said, I would have time to be petty. Like, I'm imagining if that were me and you, Zach, and I'm like, you only tried it once. Try it again. And you're like, we have to go. And I'm like, but you only touched it. What are we doing? Yeah. And that's where we both die because we're arguing. Michael Myers is like,
just running.
That's awesome.
Running around with my eyebrows and plaid shirt and a shotgun in my hand. And so Rachel and Jamie, they're like, I don't fucking know. They don't go upstairs
because Brady gets
he's fucking yelling at her this whole time. He's saying, "Go get up there, Rachel.
Get out of here.
Get up there, Rachel."
okay, and this also felt like a bit from Scary Movie because it's like, uh, no, go. You can't save me. And Michael's like very slowly walking up the stairs. It's like, just fucking get up.
They
Go
had
with
so
them.
much time. They had so much time. They always have so much time in these movies. Like they have a lot of fucking time to figure this out. And like Brady like fixes his feet to the floor, right? So like he doesn't even back up to give himself a little bit more time or something. No,
He's like,
and
he wants to get his head smushed.
he loads his fucking gun, and by the time he does it, Michael's already fucking there. He only shoots the gun once, by the way. Like he has another shot in there, doesn't do it. Michael takes the gun, and throws it over. Very
he shot both, so Michael has an excuse to stab.
I guess
we're retconning
it. He does his little thumb trick again, lifts Brady up, and like I guess a thumb to the cheek. That's gonna kill you. He's dead.
Yeah.
Well, I assume that he smushes his head. We just cut away while he's smushing his head
with his thumbs.
I didn't see it.
But a lot of the deaths, and I said this to you when we watched, a lot of the deaths, but this was like very of the time with horror, like late 80s, early 90s stuff, where it's like the chill is happening, but then we just pan away. We don't like see the like super gore happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the MPAA said no.
I guess whatever their rules are, right?
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan, am I right?
I don't know. I'd like to figure out those rules. Have you ever seen that movie? It's like a documentary about the MPAA.
No.
It's called This Film Is Not Yet Rated or something.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you should go check that out. It's really funny. Rachel and Jamie go up to the attic and run around the attic. They're trying to stop Michael, block him through the stairs. They smash out the window and go onto the roof. And this is like the best part of the fucking movie. They're on the roof and Michael's just like coming at them. It's like really dewy. Again, like two actors who aren't really harnessed by anything. They're not like
which is
this
wild
roof
to
is
think
like
about.
16 to 18 feet off the ground. I was listening to their commentary today before recording, and they even said like, were there any nets around the sides? And I don't think so. I think there was just like a ladder to get up or something like that. So it
looks real though.
Super dangerous.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it.
So
whatever they lived.
I really thought it was a set, like knowing that it's an actual roof that this like child and young lady are on. I'm like, God damn it!
No,
like
not a set.
Yeah, no, they're up there, and there's stunt women, but they're pretty much doing all that themselves. And Rachel lowers Jamie down. She just like Rachel is not a maternal woman. She's she does not have the parenting skills or the big sis skills.
She's learning. She
does a really good job in this movie. This would have been a great lesson for her had she finished her time out. But she's like lowering Jamie down, just like let's go. And Jamie's just like.
And the way she gets pulled, I was like, ooh, she like break an arm.
I know. It just might have been a neck. Rachel's like hanging off the side of the roof, and she lets go, and she falls a pretty far distance. It's like 2 floors, but they're like these ceilings in this house are they're pretty tall.
Yeah.
So she falls a good bit. I wouldn't have been surprised if she'd have been dead.
I thought she was, honestly.
Yeah, I thought.
Did you? So Jamie's just running around. She runs into Loomis because Loomis is randomly on a fucking street now. He's like,
hey.
I did have to say though, because I thought Rachel was dead. I was like, oh, thank God, this poor child. Like, I'm glad she found like an adult who knows what's going on, and not like an adult who's gonna be like, you're being crazy. There is no boogeyman, and like then gets murdered.
Yeah. So while she was doing this scene, I think people like legit called the cops. Because there was this child running through the streets screaming while they were filming.
I did read that on IMDb.
I always found that really funny. Because
no
nobody
budget
in this
for
movie,
like closing down the set.
I guess security, not.
Just, like
but
running gun.
It's funny because like nobody comes out of their house to help her.
Right. Yeah. But they called the cops, so it's all good.
The cops, yeah. But Loomis, she runs into Loomis. He takes her to the school, and they like break in, and there's the alarm. And I really like that though. I do like that because you gotta sound the alarm, let people know where you are. But we get blonde Michael Myers. He takes out Loomis, throws him through like a door, and then we're back to normal Michael Myers, and he's chasing Jamie through the school. She falls down some stairs, and then all of a sudden can't walk, and she's like crawling, and Rachel comes out with the fire extinguisher. But like it's good shit. It's like good shit. Like
good
Rachel.
pacing.
Yeah, it's good. And then I guess
I was happy to see Rachel.
I always thought that the fire extinguisher, she like hit him or something, but she only like sprays it in his face. That's it.
And he's like, ah.
And he's like, that's
He's like, this
what
sucks.
did it. Coma number 2. And she runs out, and they run into the rednecks, and I fucking love this line. They come running out, and he's like, where is he? And they're like, in there. And they're like, Jesus, where? It's like, in the fucking schoolhouse.
One option.
Right behind me. And they take Rachel and Jamie, and they get in the truck, and they're all headed out towards safety. They're gonna go get some help. But Michael Myers, stealthy man, he hid under the truck. He's holding onto the truck, and so
that was where I was like, "What?"
Yeah, they needed somebody really fucking fit for this.
Can you imagine him just like sprinting out of the school like, to the hide of the truck?
Like what point? If the camera had just gone over a little bit, you know, like, you'd have seen him just doing his sneak. Yeah, something. But so while they're in the truck, he comes out and he starts killing all the rednecks, and Rachel ends up in the driver's seat. She knocks Michael to the floor. She rams into him with the truck, and then he goes flying. And I guess it's this like mine, right? Like he's laying next to this mine. Jamie goes over there and touches his hand, and I guess there's supposed to be some sort of like something with that. Or at least it's implied. And then all the cops come out and they shoot him. They shoot him and he goes down into the mine, but you know, you don't see him dead. So
that should have happened like in the reverse order, I think, because it's like, oh, is the point that he's like transferring his like immortality to her?
Maybe. I don't
like
know. He's
what was the
something? It's
plays
something.
The Back to the Future jingle, and it's like
because at the end, our ending here is Jamie Lloyd stabs her foster mother. Or these they adopted her, right? They're not.
Okay. Yeah, I'm doing videos on every Halloween movie with CZ's World. He does like things you missed on YouTube, and he called them her step parents, and I was like, I'm pretty sure they adopted her. So I went and watched the movie again, and I was like, yeah, they adopted her.
I think in the next one they said, I feel like in the next one they describe it as like she stabbed her stepmother. I think they say stepmother.
So weird. It's like it's not a stepmother.
Like nobody was paying attention to continuity.
Because they say in the first one in 4 that her parents died. So if they died and then you gave her to a new family, that is not a step parent relationship.
Jamie stabbed her mother, Laurie Strode. It's gonna be the canon.
Bad writing.
Yeah, and then at the end, like we see little Jamie Lloyd covered in blood and in the clown costume and holding up the scissors. She's the new Michael Myers.
I thought it was fun, but I was also, the more I learned about it, I'm like, why did they let that happen? Because the whole reason they made 4 was because everyone wanted Michael Myers back, and then they make one movie and immediately transition into a kid killer. It's like, what? You know what people want, so it's like, how do you not have the foresight to say, if we make a sequel to this, we're probably gonna have to have Michael in it too? It's so weird. It's just a bizarre ending. If it was standalone, it would work better.
It could have been like a Malignant type of thing. Michael comes out like the back of her head or something.
Remember, he hasn't seen it.
Oh,
Jimmy
hasn't
seen
it.
That's what I saw on Twitter. That's like literally the part I saw. I was like, oh shit.
I'm so sorry. I forgot all about that. Yeah.
I saw a clip. Don't worry. I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
You have to put spoilers for Malignant before this.
Oh my gosh, I should have. Yeah. But then we have that ending, and then kind of cut out. This was the return of Michael Myers, and he has not left since.
Zach, what face did I make at you when we got to that ending?
He did not like it. Ian did not like this ending. I've never minded it. If they would have stuck with it, I'd have been like, I feel like it would have been a little hokey, but I think I agree with hated it.
Jimmy, that if this had been the last one of those, then like I wouldn't have hated it so much. But like I know Michael Myers comes back and she's not the new Michael Myers.
No.
Like she can't be, because I've seen what he looks like in the next movie. And that I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Clearly I haven't seen the next one, so I don't know how because I think we've mentioned that I am seeing these ones for the first time. I don't know how they resolve that, but
poorly.
It's weird, man.
I was gonna say I can't imagine I will like it. But yeah, I don't know. I like the idea. I don't like it in this movie, the placement, or this child we saw screaming for her life the entire time, who's just casually like, oh yeah, I want to kill this lady now.
Yeah.
It happens to you sometimes, you know. Children are easily influenced. She's been watching Murder the whole movie. That's how it happens.
It makes sense.
I mean, yeah.
This is
Right.
one
They
of the
play
better
they play some
sequels.
video games and then they, you know.
It is one of the better sequels. I do agree with that. As a kid, though, like, I saw no fault in any of these. So, like, even 5, when I was a kid, I was like, this fucking rocks. This is such an
me
awesome
too.
movie. Yeah.
Well, yeah, when
but-
you're a kid, totally. Like, there's so much shit
But I
that I
think
would be
that,
like,
that nostalgia factor is definitely tied into my love for, like, each one. That it is a little bit more difficult for me to, like,
Yeah,
hate
100%.
on them. But whatever. Yeah, so this was Halloween 4. If there was any sort of imagery or scene or one single shot that kind of makes you think of this movie, what would that be, Jimmy?
Intro.
Intro.
Thumb kill.
Intro thumb kill. Okay.
Yeah, easy. That's the easiest question. Like, I love that intro. I just watched it on YouTube.
Perfect. What about you, Ian?
I think it's her dream in the beginning when Michael sits up on the side of her bed and like thunder cracks. Yeah, that would be because I really like that scene.
Okay, very good. I think my whole thing is the whole roofs thing. I like that whole thing. It always works for me. But yeah, so we're coming to the end of Halloween 4 now. We will be covering Halloween 5 next week. We're going to be having Troy McEady from the Dunzo podcast over on here with us. Where can everybody find you, Jimmy?
You can find me at Jimmy Champane with no G. But if you search it with the G, it'll come up now because so many people did it wrong.
That's me in my search bar. It's
yeah,
with a G.
That's where you can find me. If you like PlayStation, PS Ready is my other channel.
Yeah. What about you, Ian?
Well, you can find this podcast if you're listening to it in Slayerfest 98's podcast feed, then you know where to find it. That's where you can find the audio. You can find all of our postings for My Bloody Judy on Slayerfest 98's social media, which is all at SlayerFestX98. Where can they find the video, Zachary?
I mean, if you're already watching it, AZB bonus features on YouTube. And then, Ian, what are we doing about Buffy? You're not doing Buffy for the rest of the...
Yes, so for everyone who's listening that's waiting for a new Buffy Season 7 episode, Zach and I are doing our Halloween marathon up to Halloween Kills, and we'll be back to Buffy Season 7 directly after we cover Halloween Kills. We will get back to Buffy with Showtime, and we have 2 really great guests lined up for that episode.
Awesome. And one final question, Jimmy. What are you most looking forward to with Halloween Kills?
All of the kills. And
the kills part. Okay.
Yeah, like all the people coming back. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. What if we get a thumb kill? Just one thumb kill.
Yeah, one thumb kill. I feel like the odds are good. Like knowing the body count, like odds are high that there will be a thumb kill.
He didn't lose his thumb, did he? It was his pinky, right? Which one did he lose?
It's pinky and his ring finger.
Okay.
But he still got another thumb. So
hey, there you go.
Either way, he's safe.
When you asked, I just looked because the Michael Myers figure I bought to photograph, his extra hands are all sitting here. And I was like, nope, this is missing a pinky and a ring finger, not a thumb.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
Well, we're all looking forward to it. We're almost there. October 15th, 14th, if you're going to go on Thursday. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. And we thank you, Jimmy, for coming on. And everybody have a great rest of your week.
Bye.